This is Dream Power Radio, the place where your dreams turn into reality. Here is your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Hello, and welcome to Dream Power Radio on the amazing Women and Men of Power Network, the world's leading positive programming network, powered by Raven International. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, the Dream Coach. This is a show where we talk about dreams, both daytime and nighttime dreams, and how you can use them to make the internal shift to a life you love. Have you laughed today? Seriously, have you laughed? It's a lot more important than you think. Laughter affects us in so many ways that don't have anything to do with jokes or even whether we find them funny. To discuss the benefits of laughter, I'm happy to welcome back certified laughter yoga professional, Shelley Bell. Shelley helps people rediscover their inner joy with her laughter club, presentations to various groups, and team building. And she trains people to become certified laughter yoga leaders through Laughter Yoga International University. Welcome to Dream Power Radio, Shelley.
I'm so excited to be back with you. It's so nice to see you.
Oh, I'm excited about this too. I'm going to start off, Shelley, with this. The great poet Lord Byron is quoted as saying, "Always laugh when you can. It's cheap medicine." Is he right?
Absolutely. In fact, the whole point of laughter yoga is not laughing because you've heard a joke, but it's intentional laughter, so we can laugh. Just decided to do that, and a lot of good things have happened to a lot of people from a daily laughter practice just because they can.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of just laughter, one of the first times that I heard about laughter being anything other than just laughing and telling jokes was from the story of the writer Norman Cousins, who wrote about how laughter helped him conquer his illnesses. Do you know that story? Can you tell it?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, he was just this regular guy who had a horrible disease, turns out, ankylosing spondylitis, which is an autoimmune degenerative disease of the spine, and there really wasn't a cure for it. And when he was in the hospital, being a really smart guy anyway, and he knew that stress, was bad for you, and he thought maybe the opposite might be good, and so he started laughing. Who's the candid camera guy? And all of a sudden, it's just
Alan Funt.
Anyway, Alan Funt. So Alan Funt brought him movies. This was in the 60s, so no videotapes and all that, but he brought him movies, and he actually found that if he laughed for 10 minutes, he was pain-free for 2 hours. So, so he just kept laughing. And, back then it was before laughter yoga, but that's actually one of the research pieces that Dr. Kacharya looked at when he was researching laughter as the best medicine. So, Norman Cousins actually got better. He doesn't credit the whole thing with laughter, but part of it, as we know now, even getting the oxygen in your system and the stress hormones down and the happy hormones up. And, part of it is attitude. So everything is all combined, and he actually ended up being better, and I heard that he was one of the first people to actually donate a lot of money to studies for laughter and how it can benefit people.
Yeah.
That's really one of the main reasons why laughter yoga got its start.
And let's talk about laughter yoga and how it got started. Tell us how it started.
Well, Madan Kacharya, who's a medical doctor in India, was doing, he was editing a journal, medical journal, and he wanted to do something on laughter as the best medicine. So he, in addition to some other things, he found the information on Norman Cousins and decided, well, I'm stressed, my patients are stressed, I think we need to laugh, and he didn't really know how to do that, so he decided to start a laughter club. So they were in a park in Mumbai, India. There were only 5 of them to begin with, because everybody thought it was kind of a nutty idea, and they did start out with jokes and humor, but after a few weeks, they realized that really wasn't going to cut it, because not everybody has the same sense of humor, and sometimes they could kind of degenerate into kind of inappropriate things, and he had an acting background, so he thought, okay, come back tomorrow because I'm going to change this up, and he came up with these, the laughter exercises that we do, The yoga part's really related to the breathing and, the zen-y stuff. And, once you clear out your muck, which you do when you're laughing, because in the moment of laughing, you're really not doing anything else. So it's kind of like a dynamic meditation in a way. I think it opens up for creativity and all kinds of wonderful things. So, so that was in 1995, started out with 5 people. And then, now it's all over the world, thousands and thousands of laughter clubs everywhere, all over the world. And, people doing not just the laughter club, which you got to come to a few times before you moved to New York, but people just work in all kinds of different disciplines, with mental health and physical health, people with problem support groups, corporate, there's a million different ways that people use laughter just to feel better. Be a better way of life for them.
Yeah, and I would think that laughter yoga would be particularly beneficial now during the pandemic, because it does help improve breathing, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. It really opens up the lung, because you're getting way more oxygen in your system than you normally would. Because when we're normally just our everyday breathing, when you think about it, it's pretty shallow. So when you're laughing, you can't help, but exhaling a lot, so you can get, more fresh oxygen in. So yeah, I even had somebody at one of my trainings who was on oxygen pretty much full time. And she was feeling so much better that she took her oxygen out, and she was able to breathe a lot better. The second day when she came back, after a while, she started getting a little whatever, and I said, you better check your oxygen saturation. And it had gone down, but she had been feeling so much better that she didn't need it for a long time, oxygen. So that, to me, was kind of like really shows how opening up the lungs.
Well, aside from helping our breathing, what other benefits do you get from doing laughter yoga?
Oh my gosh. Well, like I said, the stress hormones go down, happy hormones go up. It opens up the mind, I think, for creativity. But there's so many actual studies that they've done with laughter, where it helps the immune system and, just people just feel good when they laugh. Everybody knows that. But people don't really know that there are actually scientific things that happen in the body, with the body chemistry and things like that. So it's really way more important and way better. And what a fun way to help yourself. Really.
Right. I think people knew that laughter really did have benefits other than just, making you feel good, they might actually take it more seriously.
Well, exactly. Laughter is serious business. Right.
It is. Tell me, how did you get interested in laughter yoga?
Well, one day, so this was actually in 2006, a friend called me up and she said, she was a traditional yoga person, used to go at that point probably 4 or 5 times a week. And she said, they're doing laughter yoga at the temple, and I don't know what it is, but we need to go. So we went, and I laughed so hard, during this presentation, that he had us doing these laughter yoga exercises. And my stomach actually hurt the next day, the stomach muscles, because you can really work core. And, I just thought about it for a long time. And, kind of short story out of a long story, I woke up in the middle of the night, 4 o'clock in the morning, which I heard 4 o'clock in the morning is the thing. I don't know. And I thought, well, a friend wanted to lease some office space or like a storefront. And I thought, oh, I could have like a place in the back and I could do laughter yoga in there. And it was 4 o'clock in the morning. And I went online and I looked up, and turned out that there was somebody local that was doing a laughter yoga leader training. So this was 2011. Yeah, 2011. So I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to take this training. It's local, and who knows what's going to happen. And this is what happened. So that was in 2011. I became a leader. 2012, I took a 5-day training and became a teacher. And here I am still. I realized the other day it's 9 years already that I've been doing this. And, it's just pretty amazing, the things I hear and the things I see and the stories from people and what keeps me going.
So tell me about, can you give me an example of somebody who really found laughter yoga making a difference in their life?
Oh, God, there's so many. But, I'll tell you, there's one woman who she came a lot at the beginning, and then I didn't see her for a number of years, and she started coming back again. And she's been in all my Zoom calls as well. And she said she actually feels better for like 5 days. So when people just tell me it lightens up their day. So that's kind of, I think, the main thing that I hear personally, but from people that have come to my laughter club. But, there are a lot of people, out and about and around the world that I've heard really cool stories from, including one gentleman who lives in Australia who actually got a really bad diagnosis, was aplastic anemia or something. And the doctor said, you're going to, probably die like in a week. And he just started laughing because he didn't know what else to do. He didn't know anything about laughter yoga. And he really got himself cured, and laughter was a big part of it. Credits that. So, he's still around.
Amazing.
It is pretty amazing. Like we're never going to say, just laugh because it'll cure everything you have. We're never going to say don't do what your doctor tells you, but adding laughter has to help everything.
Well, it has to be true because studies have shown even just not only with laughter, but just, focusing your mind on positive things raises your energy level and raises, lowers the stress hormones, like you said, and, just makes you feel so much better, which has to help. You said boost immunity system.
Even smiling changes your brain chemistry.
Yes.
Just kind of interesting. And one really cool thing about laughter yoga is it doesn't even matter if you think you're fake laughing, because your body doesn't know the difference. And, hopefully if you start out fake laughing, that eventually it's going to turn into real laughter. And really the point of laughter yoga is not to laugh so hard you can't stop. That happens sometimes, but that's not even really the point. We laugh kind of in short bursts and some extra breathing exercises. And also when you go to a laughter club, or even with the Zoom, like we're laughing for a kind of an extended period of time, little key breaks in between. But, most people, if you're out and about, you'll laugh, ha, 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 but it's really only, a little exchange that you might have with somebody. But the laughter yoga is really, a longer period of time, some more prolonged laughter, and that's what it really is.
Okay, so walk me through what would be a typical laughter yoga session. How long is it?
Well, most people do like for an hour. So we start out, we're, talking about what it is, and then we do maybe, spend like maybe 20 minutes doing the laughter with little breaks in between for extra breathing, and of course explaining what the next exercise is. And then the second half, we actually I do some guided meditations, and, so we kind of do that. But people can always go to my website, heartandsoulspace.com, and see a whole session on there that I did for the Hypnosis Motivation Institute a couple of years back. Mm-hmm. You can really participate and see what it's really all about.
Yeah. And do you do the same routines every session, or do you mix it up?
No, there's some things that I always do, but they're like just hundreds of laughter yoga exercises. So, I mix it up. It's never the same exact program because it doesn't need to be. Mm-hmm. There's so many fun things to do.
Yeah. Is there anyone who can't participate in a laughter yoga session?
I would say everybody can participate. Whether, the laughter club that I have at my house, most people are, standing up and moving around and interacting with each other. But, there are people who have come here in wheelchairs, and I've also done work, with Alzheimer's patients and in assisted living. So those people aren't getting up and walking around, but they still can participate. All they can do, and even if they can't even move very much, they still can move a little bit and laugh a little bit and be around the energy.
Do you ever work with kids?
I have not worked with kids very much. Every once in a while, somebody will bring a child, to laughter yoga, but people do that. And I've worked with some teenagers before, so that was interesting. I do have to say, because that's kind of at a funny age, but there are people who work, in preschools and in elementary, those kids would love to laugh.
And do you find that they react differently than older people?
Well, that's hard to say. Like the teenagers that I worked with, well, first of all, the one time that I went, it was at a school and they had no idea that they were going to be doing laughter yoga. So there were some kids who really got into it, and there were some kids that's like, I don't know, this is really stupid, So, but some people did really, really enjoy it. So it just kind of depends on the group you're in, if they know what they're going to. But most adults who come here, especially who come here for laughter yoga, they know that they're coming to laugh. And the thing with the laughter yoga, it's like it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, for the last day, for the last week, for the last 30 years. When you come to Laughter Club, you know that that's why you're there. Leave everything else outside, and that's why you're there, is just to be with other people and to laugh for that hour, participate.
Have you ever had people come who either didn't laugh or couldn't laugh?
I've had some people who were a little quieter, and this is actually a pretty interesting story. There was one woman who came, I don't know most of the people who come until they come more than once. But she came, and when I started explaining what it was, she goes, "You mean this isn't real yoga?" Which was in my description, but she didn't see that. So the whole time, she was like this. Just did not. I don't know why she didn't leave. The front door is like right there, but she just sat there or stood up with her arms crossed. And then when we did the guided meditation at the end, she seemed to get into it. But what was so interesting is when she left, her face actually looked different. It was like really phenomenal. And then somebody who had gone out with her at the end told me later she got a fight with her boyfriend. And so that's maybe why she was like a little bit more whatever. But most people, some are a little quieter, but most people just sort of get into it. And since it doesn't matter if you fake laugh at the beginning and everybody is doing the same thing, I tell people sometimes if you're just going like, ha ha, people are going to notice. But if you're not, and you're just like doing the sounds, nobody will know, if you thought it was awkward, and you could be helping the person next to you who's also feeling a little self-conscious. And then so it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's funny from my own experience, doing it, I kind of equate it to yawning. Like you yawn, and all of a sudden the next person next to you is yawning, and then goes from there and there, and everybody's, even if they felt they didn't have a reason to yawn, they would start to yawn. And I kind of found it was the same thing with that. Even like the first time, if you're feeling a little bit self-conscious, the other person next to you is laughing, and the person on the other side of you is laughing, and it's like, okay, I'll give it a go. And then
there was a woman who came one time, and she came a couple of times, and she said, well, she didn't think she was going to come back, but then she did because she actually felt better. But like the first time she was looking around, she was going, "You mean you were like fake laughing at the beginning?" Not to me, but one of the other participants. Like, how did I couldn't tell. How did you do that? It's like, because if you come to a laughter club and you've decided you're going to laugh, you just do that.
This is true. Well, this is just so fascinating. We're going to get more into the serious side of laughter with Shelley Bell. We're going to take a break now, and we'll be right back.
When is a car not a car?
When it shows up in your dreams. Cars are one of the most common dream symbols. If you don't know why you're dreaming about cars or any image, it can leave you confused or scared.
But that dream could be a solution to a pressing problem.
Or an insight into a solution that's been bugging you for years.
Go to my website and sign up for a complimentary discovery session, and I'll help you understand why a dream is a terrible thing to waste.
Go to thedreamcoach.net for more information.
Welcome back to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Yes, welcome back to Dream Power Radio. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, and we're talking about laughter yoga with Shelley Bell. Shelley, how long do you have to do a laughter yoga session before it can have an effect on you?
Geez, some people, even with short sessions, they already are feeling better, because they're smiling and they feel lighter. As far as health benefits for the immune system. There's been different talk about that. So I'm not actually really sure. Some people say, like maybe the one time you do laughter yoga, maybe it's not going to have that big effect on your immune system, but with continued laughing over time. So I'm not really sure about that. But, if people feel better, sometimes people tell me they sleep better that night. So it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
There's an immediate, I feel better, I feel lighter, I feel more energetic, I feel calmer, which you can feel both calm and energetic at the same time, really. To the more long-lasting effects that comes with the daily laughter practice and actually building that sense of inner joy, which is a little bit different than, if you're happy. A lot of times happy is connected to a particular event or a particular acquisition or something, but with joy, if you develop your inner joy by this laughter practice, is one good way to do that. And even when things happen that aren't great, you've built some sort of resiliency. I think that kind of helps handle, the things that life throws at us.
Okay, you said that on your sessions you end with a guided meditation. What is the purpose of that?
Well, meditation in general, which laughter is really a dynamic meditation because you're clearing out the muck. But I think, it calms us down. And I think with the guided meditations that I do, sometimes they're about inner peace or gratitude, or there's the smile into the heart meditation. It just puts people in a nice kind of calm state of mind with some nice things to think about. So, once we get back to the rest of the session, which really that's usually the end of the laughing part. But, I think it gives people like something besides the laughter, just a nice things to think about as they go about the rest of their evening or the day or next day.
There are laughter yoga programs that are geared towards seniors, some to businesses, cancer patients, among other things. How would these sessions differ from one another?
For me, when I did those, they didn't really differ, because, I think one of the things, at least for me with the laughter programs, I'm not going to focus on whatever the disability is. So I'm just going to do, we might be sitting down rather than standing up. That's something. And always, even at my house, when people come in, I always say, that it's a no new pain kind of thing. So if there's anything we're doing that's uncomfortable, sit down, because we can always interact with you while you're in the chair. So other than that, there are, I have a friend who does a lot of laughter yoga in mental health situations, and there may be some differences there. I haven't done that myself. So, and then, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's have some fun here.
Okay.
Can you lead me in some laughter yoga exercises?
Okay. So I always start with Namaste laughter because this started in India, and it's laughter yoga, the yoga being, the breathing and, that we do. So the Namaste pose is like this, or like prayer pose. And what this really is I recognize the divine in you as you recognize that in me. We're all divine, awesome human beings. So we are going to introduce ourselves to each other just with laughter. And Namaste. So on your mark, get set, and let's go. Okay, and very good, very good. Yay. And so one reason why I'd like to start with that, other than what I just said, is that it really shows you that we can laugh just because we've decided to, because Namaste is not inherently funny, but we've just decided to laugh and be playful with a laughter yoga exercise.
And it's all about discovering, the playful side of us.
Right. Because, because a lot of us have kind of lost that. Life is stressful sometimes, Well, a lot of times there's things going on and we get serious as adults. And I think younger and younger, even kids and teenagers have, kind of lost that ability to think on the lighter side.
Mm-hmm. So you have another one.
Okay, how about, I don't know why I'm laughing. And I don't know why you're laughing either. So that goes something like, ha 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 ha. So part of laughter yoga too is like the human condition is what we're dealing with. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Mark, get set, go. It's like, well, we're laughing for the health of it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm already feeling better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy, even with just like not that long, it just kind of uplifts the mood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should we do some ooh la la laughter?
Ooh la la. Like
La la.
that.
Okay, I thought of this morning as I was getting camera ready for this little episode that we're doing here, and I thought, oh, there are probably a lot of people, their hair got too long because they can't get to the hairdresser, and maybe the gray is starting to show. But what I want you to know is that we are always beautiful all the time. So we are going to look in our ooh la la mirror, just right here, and we're going to laugh because we're wonderful, beautiful human beings. So you ready to get your ooh la la mirror up, Debbie?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Like here, and on your mark, and then we can show everybody else too. Like Mark, it's like, oh, it's like, ha, ha, ha. Hey,
Oh.
we are all beautiful, wonderful, amazing human beings, no matter if we've got gray roots.
Yeah. We are, and laughter yoga just makes you feel good and relaxes you, eases you, boosts your immune system, makes your energy higher, makes you more creative. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, nothing that I can think of. I mean, some people think it's a little awkward at the beginning, but you get yourself into it and everything is good.
Yeah, I think the nice thing about it is, at least as far as I'm concerned, is that it helps you get rid of any feelings of being self-conscious, because you're just
Well,
there.
that's true. I mean, if you can laugh like that in a group of people, you can do anything. Right? Really. I remember like early on there was a college student who came. She was all by herself, so she didn't know anybody there. And she said afterwards, because we always share at the end, like, how do you feel now and what do you think? And she said, well, I'm sure glad you said it could be awkward, because it was really awkward, but I was amazed at how I was able to laugh with all of these complete strangers. And there's a sense of connection that happens too when you're laughing with people. I had one guy one time tell me, like, I didn't really get it, but when, because we talk about making eye contact when you're in a group, and he said it was like I was looking into the souls of the people, and I thought, whoa, that is really, really awesome. Really awesome. And then one other thing, one of the teenagers, my husband, I was at his school, and he had an opportunity to interview a few kids, like probably a few months later. And he said, what do you think is, what kind of kid would be good, this would be good for? And he was actually one of the bouncing off the walls teenagers that was kind of like, I wasn't sure he was really getting it during when we were doing that. But then he said to me, to Mark, he said, this would be really good for people who don't have any friends. And I thought, wow, he just so got it on such a deep level, because there's a sense of connection and of leveling things out, that everybody is like the same in that moment, and being able to laugh together. So that was like really one of the more awesome actual moments that I've had in all these years.
That is so wonderful. And what a great way to end this. I just have time for one final question. How can people find out about you and about laughter yoga?
Well, Dr. Kataria has laughteryoga.org, and you can go on there. Well, right now nobody is doing live laughter sessions, but you can look to see if there's somebody in your area, because the clubs are supposed to be listed right there. A lot of people are doing Zoom sessions. I'm doing Zoom sessions right now. So for the time being, so people, I have a meetup group, which is Laughter Yoga Northridge. So if people want to join there, they can see when I'm doing Zoom, because you can do Zoom from everywhere. You don't have to be close by, so that you can come in person. So Debbie, you can even Zoom with us. That would be really cool. It's been a long time since we've laughed together other than our interview here.
Yes. Oh, wonderful. And do you have a website?
I do. It's www.heartandsoulspace, all spelled out, .com. And that's my website. And you can see me laughing on there, a whole presentation that I did. So if you click on Watch Shelley, and then you'll see me standing on the stage. Click that, and you can do a whole hour with me and see how it really works.
Great. Well, Shelley, thank you so much for being on Dream Power Radio today. We've been speaking with Shelley Bell about laughter yoga. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. Until next time, this is Debbie Spector-Weissman saying, sweet dreams, everybody.
You've been listening to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman. For more information on Debbie or to sign up for her newsletter, go to dreampowerradio.com. This has been Dream Power Radio on the amazing Women and Men of Power Network, the world's leading positive programming network, powered by Raven International.